Ain't nobody messing with McCulloch, 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 McCulloch. Ain't nobody fresher than James McCulloch, 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 McCulloch. As I look around, they don't do it like McCulloch, 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 McCulloch. And all these bad states, man, they want the...
Well, if it isn't Little Johnny, that's a nice lemonade stand you have there, Johnny.
This is my life. I love it so much.
It would be a shame if someone taxed your lemonade stand, wouldn't it?
Yeah, don't touch my lemonade stand.
Well, that's what happened to many people with Maryland, including a man named James McCulloch. Maryland wanted to tax the national bank. However, McCulloch didn't believe it was constitutional to do so.
You lost me.
I got you, Holmes. Let me break it down. One of the main issues regarding this court case was the argument over implied powers.
What are implied powers?
Let these fine little boys explain to you.
The Bill of Rights included the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. The 10th Amendment was intended to give rights not reserved to the federal government to the states.
Implied powers refers to inferred powers that are not specifically written in the Constitution. This derives from the 10th Amendment.
I, President of the United States, welcome the citizens to this convention. Are there any issues?
Mr. President, there is one issue we must address. That is the issue of states' rights and implied powers.
Well, Senator, I have a rebuttal for you. The 10th Amendment clearly states that the states have the stated right to states' rights.
But President, the 10th Amendment has too much obscurity. How are we sure it doesn't have any implied powers?
The diction in the Bill of Rights is clear, and there are no implied powers.
But how does this affect the McCulloch case?
Glad you asked, Grub.
The 10th Amendment gave states the powers not given to the federal government. This led the state of Maryland to believe it had power over the national bank.
Specie. So much specie.
I like your bank here, but doesn't look like you're using state-approved money.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my state-approved money yet.
Well, I don't care if this is the national bank. I'm going to tax you.
It's not fair. Who gave you the power to do that?
I'm the state of Maryland. I have my implied powers and states' rights. I will tax you.
Well, that's unconstitutional.
We'll take this to the court.
Later in the courthouse, the debate began between James McCulloch and Maryland's representation over the power of the states regarding implied powers in the Constitution. In the end, John Marshall ruled in favor of McCulloch. The court ruled that the states do not have the right to override federal law.
Maryland, you do not have the implied powers or the right to tax the national bank. It is against the Constitution.
What about our states' rights? What about the 10th Amendment?
I told you there's no such thing as implied powers. Unless it's written in the Constitution, you don't have this power.
This is absurd. We should have the power.
The 10th Amendment states the Constitution's principle of federalism by providing that powers not granted to the federal government by the Constitution are reserved to the states or the people. However, you do not have the power to override the federal government.
Despite the many problems with the bank and other problems, the underlying issue was actually states' rights. The 10th Amendment specifically gave states the power over federal branches and over civilians. The problem was the implied powers.
But wait, I thought the McCulloch versus Maryland case defined the states don't have implied powers.
Aw, you little genius, you. Yes, states do not have implied powers during federal issues, but they do have implied powers when helping other states and civilians. By taxing the national bank, implied powers instantly became a heated debate and frowned upon.
Is there some kind of demonstration?
Anything for you?
The issue of states' rights became a hot topic and the subject of many political debates.
I believe we have the right to veto and work above the federal law. If we don't, South Carolina will have to secede.
We must preserve the Union. In order to do so, we need to define states' rights and implied powers.
The issues over states' rights caused many states, including South Carolina, to threaten to secede for their implied powers.
Well, there you have it. That's the McCulloch versus Maryland case.
You threatened to tax my lemonade stand just to explain the history of implied powers in federal government?